Aggression versus love. Are we too loving in this generation, or do we need to have more aggression? Guys, welcome back to the Wilson Brothers channel. I'm Isaac, this is David.
Let's go.
We are reacting today to Candace Owens being on George Janko podcast, talking about the difference between just loving everything in society and being completely dismissive of facts versus the aggressive tone that men might need to have to set the cultural standard. We want you guys to react in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on Candace, how she responds to George. Apparently there's a disagreement.
There's a disagreement.
And so let's dive into the disagreement. Do you agree with George or do you agree with Owens?
Team George or Team Candace? Let's get it.
Let's get it.
So we've tried the heavy-handed, right? And I feel like it is waking up a lot of people. But how is there a tactic that we could do it out of love? Like I haven't seen it online where we're like sitting down, because when I see these people standing up and talking about identity issues or their background issues or wherever their viewpoints are, I have so much empathy, because I'm like, damn, you're broken and you're lost, and everybody keeps pushing you to hell's fire. And like, no one's giving you any like real love. Like when you I'll give you an example of friends. Like if you have friends that are always telling you, Candace, dude, you're killing it, bro. Like the way you punch that little kid in the face, dog, he deserves it. You're like, no. You should probably tell him like, hey, dude,
okay,
I love what you said, but you shouldn't punch that kid in the face.
Probably
you have
not.
to have somebody give you the real shit. Like you shouldn't do that. And I feel like now, because of the media, especially with the algorithm, they're only feeding things for your ego. And it's causing a separation. So how do we teach them how to love? Because I feel like the separation is like us like really never being able to see it from their point of view.
I disagree with that, I would have to say. I disagree with the premise. I don't think that it's not seeing things from their point of view. I think actually the entire world is bending down to see things from their point of view. We can't even misgender someone on YouTube. Seeing things from their point of view is being blared out cultural messaging. No matter how they feel, they have to be affirmed, right? That is actually the culture. They're being affirmed in the classrooms. That's why they're bratty. It's actually, we're suffering from too much love, too much coddling, too much with their hand being held. So if the pendulum is going to swing back, it needs to be with more aggression, in my view, right? If you're going to even that out, they need a moment that just smacks them in the face, and it's like, you're not that special. You're actually not that special. Nothing about your life, to me, is enviable.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
differences of opinion.
I love this because they're being respectful and they're actually having a dialogue. When it comes to too much love, I think we need to define what love actually looks like, because it's very easy to say, oh, I'm loving you regardless of what you believe. There's a difference between love and acceptance.
Correct.
So I can love you regardless of what you believe, but I don't have to accept the behavior patterns that you are giving or showing me. So for example, if somebody in the classroom is teaching an ideology to my children that I don't like, I'm not going to go in there and say, I hate you, teacher. You're the worst teacher in the world. But I am going to say, unless you change what you're teaching my children, then I'm going to remove my child from this environment. You can continue to teach it, but I'm not going to sit by and allow this ideology to be shoved down my kid's throat. And being more aggressive with saying, no, what you're saying is actually not okay. I don't agree with it. And what Candace is coming from an ultra aggressive perspective of too much love, too much coddling. I agree with that, but there's also the balance of showing humility in the midst of aggression.
Yeah, it also depends what scenario it is as well. I could sit down with somebody that has a completely different worldview than me. Yeah. They could think that people that are conservative are horrible people, or they could think Christians are terrible. Whatever it is, what have I told you multiple times? The goal of any conversation is to be able to sit down, have a drink, be amiable, and discuss our differences. We don't have to be friends, but walk away and be like, wow, it's good that I heard something different.
But also when you're sitting talking to that person, you want to know and convey that you're not a pushover either.
Well, no, if they told me I had to call somebody the way they want to be called, then I will say, I feel like I have the right to my view.
You can't regulate my speech.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't own the universe of speech.
Yeah, you cannot own the way I speak.
Yes.
And specifically children, there's a balance, right? Yeah. There's a time to love and there's a time to be like, no, you will not do this.
But saying no, you won't do this is love.
No, but that's what I'm saying is love is not always the soft thing we think of, right?
Yeah.
We think of, whenever I think of love, or most people think of love, we think of being in love or to love someone in the midst of a horrible situation. We have to be there for them. We have to make them feel emotionally good.
But that's with women.
But no, well, that depends on the situation. For example, if something tragic happened in your life or in my life in the past, right?
Yeah.
You know, when I had a miscarriage in the past, for example, you loved me through that and you were there for me like, bro, I got you. Let me know whatever you need. That for me
But
was
I didn't
love.
get aggressive and say...
No, like if you had been like in that situation, been like, bro, just suck it up. I've been like, screw you.
Yeah.
I just lost a kid, right?
Yeah.
So it is a situation by situation base, but I do agree with them both on different things because, for example, it's tough if you're sitting down with somebody that is questioning their identity. How can you still love them? You still need to love them because we believe, you know, Christ loves everybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he believes what you believe, but you still need to love them through that. And then sometimes that's the way they change.
He washed his disciples' feet, but also flipped the tables.
Exactly.
So let's see what she has to say about love.
It's a tough thing to go over.
You're not going to use words to try to silence conversation by calling this homophobia. You know, there's so many different words. This is sexism, chauvinism, this is homophobia, feminism, whatever it is. So yeah, I very much disagree with the premise that these people need love. I think that's what's been happening is that they have the wrong idea of what love is.
Yes.
And in my view, love is discipline.
Yes.
Love is discipline. I think
That's
it's important because you want people to do well in life. And so the people that are affirming them, like you just said, are setting them down a path of absolute failure. This is why these kids end up, they come out of college, they have a useless degree in gender studies, and they don't even know who to be angry at when they can't get a job. And so they blame the white man, the rich man, the tall man. You know, it's because of racial prejudice. It's because women can't get, it's because literally you have done nothing of value in your life. Nothing in value at all, right? The world lied to you. The teachers lied to you. Your mom lied to you. Your dad lied to you. So I'm just going to stand up here and be the truth. And
great counterpoint. Honestly, that was an amazing counterpoint. I now agree with you because you're right. From seeing it from that point of view, like I always just want to not offend because
stop that.
You're going to offend, George. There's no way
because,
out.
Like I try to mimic Christ, right? Christ always
Me too,
offended, but
but
he
I
never
offend all the
wanted
time.
to offend them. He just said
It's
the
not.
truth.
I don't want to. Yeah. The truth is offensive now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're a man. Like no, I'm wearing a dress. You know what I'm saying?
That-
like literally, the truth is now considered offense.
That was a great
I love how she convinced George because love is discipline.
Yes.
I will love my spouse differently than I'm going to love people out there.
That would be weird if you did.
No, I'm saying in the way I show it. I'm not talking about just physical love. I'm
Well,
talking about
the way even you talk.
that I will be there and I will embrace my wife and I will be there. But even then, if me and my wife have differences, for example, if she wants to do something that I feel like would be terrible for her body, mind, or spirit, I will speak up, and it is out of love, but it's not always the soft, gushy love.
But do you know why you do
is
that?
shown. Because I love.
Yes, because you love, also because it affects your relationship.
Yeah.
So everything she does affects you and everything you do affects her.
Exactly.
So it's not just she's a separate person anymore because when you become when you get married, you become one with that person.
Exactly.
And so you are not only in covenant with them, but you are in a bond of love where you are consistently sacrificing your needs, desires, and wants for the other person, and vice versa. And so what Candace is saying on a global broad spectrum is you don't actually have to agree with me to love me.
I like what she said because she said you have to get rid of that fear of offense because you cannot say anything of value in this world without the likelihood of offending. And so I like that because even like he said, Jesus offended. His goal wasn't to offend. It's your goal. It's different if
The truth is offensive.
It's different if you are going out there with a pure motive to offend. I'm coming in this group,
But that's narcissistic.
of a rally of people, and I'm just wanting to offend. No,
Yeah.
it's will you speak the truth, and there will be offense. Being afraid to speak the truth in specific scenarios will make it so that you don't have a voice, and you are afraid completely of what everybody thinks.
Whatever you say online is going to be offensive to someone.
Yeah.
Because
I could literally say, I believe Jesus is Lord. It will offend the atheist, but it will offend some people of different religions because they believe that I'm wrong. You have to be willing to offend. Stop being so soft.
this generation is pretty soft. But here's the hopium in all of this. We as content creators, guys, we want each and every one of you to be able to think for yourselves, to have that dialogue and say, no matter what I believe, I'm going to show love. Now, showing love is not necessarily agreeing with the person across from you, but also being amicable, like David was saying. We want to empower each and every one of you to be educated, authentic, and genuine in the way that you express yourself in a holistic way. Not just for the sake of just expressing yourself to express yourself. We want to empower men to be strong, independent people that can speak the truth in the midst of a perverse and crazy generation, to stand up for what's right and to be a voice of freedom and reconciliation.
Yeah.
And that comes with time.
Yeah, and I'll say, if somebody is saying you have to call me this, you're homophobic, all those different words.
Welcome to the world.
It doesn't mean that you then have to bow down to what they say.
Yeah.
If they say that, I can say to them, you don't know me. I have the right to speak with my mind and what I believe to be true. So do not try to silence my voice because it offends you. Like you can speak in love but still have aggression. That's what I got out of this, is that you don't have to be gooey. You can actually say this truth, and it's going to offend. But
speaking of truth, what do you guys think of this interview? Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to dialogue with you in the comments about this specific interview about aggression and how it is compared or even contrasted with too much love and coddling.
No, I love it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. We're coming out with videos Monday through Friday, so you don't want to miss a thing. But this video, fantastic.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.